Welcome to Gadgetics. In this video, we will talk about the new features of the Huawei Band 8 or HB8 compared to the Huawei Band 7 or HB7, and then we will also compare it to the Mi Band 8 or MB8. Hopefully after watching this video, you will have a better understanding of which one you should buy. About the Huawei Band 8 for $33 during its launch in Indonesia, and within just a few minutes, over 200 units were sold on a single online platform. This indicates that there is quite a lot of interest in it. As for the Mi Band 8, we can get it for around $41, so it is a little bit more expensive, at least in my country. The first time I held and compared the Huawei Band 7 with the Huawei Band 8, I initially felt it's like useless to upgrade from Huawei Band 7 to 8. However, it turns out that there is one feature that makes me say that Huawei Band 8 is quite okay. Speaking of design, my initial impression was that it's pretty ordinary. Mine is midnight black. The color is not glossy nor matte. The strap color is not deep black. Here is comparison with Mi Band 8 strap that darker. Anyway, the strap is not transparent unlike the green Huawei Band 8 that uses transparent strap. I like the Sakura pink color in the series. It looks nice. The gold color gives it a metal look, even though it's made of plastic. I kind of regret not buying the Sakura pink one. I could have just changed the strap color later. In terms of design, in my opinion, the Huawei Band 7 still looks better. It gives a more elegant and expensive feel. However, this is just my personal taste, which may differ from others, including color preference. The back designs of both bands are very similar. The chargers are also interchangeable. I've tried using the Huawei Band 7 charger for charging the 8. The output voltage and current are the same, so it's safe to use. As advertised, HB8 is indeed thinner. However, if you observe the design of the HB7, it has a curved or oval shape before reaching the bottom. This creates an illusion that Huawei Band 7 is thinner. If we subtract the thickness of the body, the height of the sensors on both bands, it is the same, which is 0.4 mm. HB7 is slightly wider than HB8. The lock-to-lock distance is also longer on HB7. However, when worn, the difference isn't very noticeable, right? In my opinion, the design of the HB7 is better, but of course again, it's a matter of personal preference. To remove the strap onto HB8, you simply press the button here. It's more convenient, but I prefer the strap style of the HB7 that uses pins. For those who plan to buy a smart band for the long term, let's say for 4 years or more, it is safer to choose a smart band with a pin-based strap locking mechanism like this one. Because if it is difficult to find spare parts for the original strap, we can still work around it by using a regular or universal straps with pins as long as the loop width is 16 mm. The HB8 is 4 grams lighter than the HB7. This weight difference is due to the lighter body of the HB8 and the fact that the HB7 strap uses a metal pin, which adds more weight. 4 grams is the weight of a metal coin. The Mi Band 8 is only 2 grams heavier than the HB8, even though the body of the Mi Band 8 is made of metal. In terms of comfort, I found the Huawei Band 7 more comfortable. When I wear the HB8 on the 5th hole, it's still a bit loose, but on the 4th hole, it's too tight. On the other hand, with the HB7, I feel comfortable wearing it on the 6th hole. It fits just right, not too loose and not too tight. The difference in hole position, despite having the same length, design and number of holes in the strap, is due to the variation in body thickness and the placement of the locks. The HB7 has a higher lock position. This means that some people may find HB8 more comfortable, while others, like me, may prefer the HB7. It all depends on the individual's wrist size and which hole on the strap feels more fitting. When compared to the Mi Band 8, the Huawei Band 8 is more comfortable when using the original strap. We'll discuss this more later. Apart from the design differences, what are the new features in the HB8 compared to the HB7? In terms of the display, both models use a 1.47-inch AMOLED screen, so there's no difference there. The refresh rate is also the same. It doesn't use the 60Hz display like the current Mi Band 8. No auto brightness too. Although the HB8 doesn't have auto brightness, fortunately, it's really easy to adjust the brightness level. The screen itself is good as an AMOLED screen should be. The color is vivid with a deep black screen. The HB8 screen is more symmetrical in the center, while the HB7 is slightly upwards, although it's not very noticeable unless you pay close attention. In this video, we will also compare it with the Mi Band 8 screen later. One thing that I really appreciate about the Huawei Band 8 is it has better always on display or AOD compared to the HB7, which I criticized a lot last year. With the HB8, we can still use the raise to wake feature even when the always on display is enabled. We can easily choose whether to activate the raise to wake feature or not. Secondly, now there are several AOD styles that match the watch face style. And the styles are great because the light up parts are distributed evenly across the screen, which I really like. In fact, there are AOD styles that I find look better than the watch face itself. However, it's unfortunate that many watch faces don't have their own AOD styles yet. Apart from the default watch face and few others, most of the watch faces that we installed don't have AOD styles that match the watch face design. They display this AOD style without the option to choose an analog display, at least that's the case for now. Hopefully in the future there will be more AOD styles that match with the watch face design. When compared to the Mi Band 8, many of its AOD styles follow the style of the watch face, whether it's analog or digital. However, it's unfortunate that many AOD styles on the Mi Band 8 are small and only display the time, unlike Huawei Band 8 AOD that looks visually pleasing. Both the Huawei Band 8 and the Mi Band 8 support the Keep Screen On feature, which keeps the full color main screen continuously light up. It can be activated for a maximum duration of 20 minutes. Activating this feature is much more convenient on the Huawei Band 8 as it is available in the quick settings. Another aspect that Huawei has been promoting is the availability of 10,000 more watch faces that can be installed. While that may be true, it's difficult to verify the exact number. However, it seems that only a few hundreds of those watch faces are available for free. In addition, many watch faces on the Huawei Band 8 have the exact same design as those on the Huawei Band 7. For paid watch faces, users can try them for 5 minutes before making a purchase. If you want to make a purchase, the prices are reasonable in my opinion, and there are many good designs available, some of them less than $1. We can buy using credit cards or other options. For some watch faces that I previously purchased for the Huawei Band 7, they can be installed again on the Huawei Band 8, such as this Tetris watch face. In comparison to the Huawei Band 8, the Mi Band 8 has a limited selection of watch faces with fewer than 300 styles, at least for now. However, based on experience with previous Mi Band series, there will likely be a lot of custom watch faces developed for the Mi Band 8. For example, this Casio watch face was created by the community, indicating that there is a high possibility of more watch faces being available in the future. One thing that I like about the Huawei Band 8 is that we can quickly create a watch faces based on the outfit we are wearing for the day. This way, our watch face color will match our outfit. This is different from the photo watch face. The Health app will create a watch face with colors and patterns that match the photo you take or choose. At first I thought it was trivial, but after trying it out, it turned out to be quite nice. For photo watch faces, the Huawei Band 8 can use up to 5 different photos, just like the HB7. Meanwhile, Mi Band 8 can use up to 8 different photos. To change the photo, you can simply tap on the screen. On Mi Band 8, each time the screen turns off and then turns on again, the photo will change. However, on the Huawei Band, the photo will remain the same. Even though the screen of the Mi Band 8 is narrower, I still find it sufficient to display photo watch faces, especially for portrait photos. However, because my Mi Band 8 is the Chinese version, the days of the week are displayed in Mandarin. I'll have to wait for the international firmware update to have them display in English. So far for me, there are only 2 significant differences between the Huawei Band 7 and 8. The first one is the different strap locking mechanism and also the design, which I personally find the design of the HB7 to be better. The second important difference for me is that we can still use the raise to wake feature when using always on display on Huawei Band 8. For UI upgrades, the Huawei Band 8 has better quick settings. It also has a sleep mode to disable notifications and lower the screen brightness. Additionally, there is an easy way to customize the displayed features when swiping left or right, even though it's only a few options. Huawei Band 8 doesn't have a compass. The official website initially made a mistake, but they have already corrected it. For other aspects and features, the Huawei Band 8 is very similar to the Huawei Band 7. In fact, the Huawei Band 7 has the tide or wave information, which could be useful for fishermen, while the Huawei Band 8 doesn't have it or it's not available at the moment. If you know that there are other significant differences between the Huawei Band 7 and 8, you can tell us in the comments section. One feature that is often promoted is the sleep tracker of the Huawei Band 8. However, I feel that even since the Honor Band 5 era, Huawei's sleep tracker feature has been good. I have also compared it with the Mi Band 8 several times, and the average sleep duration shown by both the Mi Band and Huawei Band 8 is quite similar. You can see that the sleep duration only differs by 2 minutes. As for the nap duration, it is the same, which is 56 minutes. However, after several comparisons, the Mi Band 8 generally displays a slightly longer sleep duration, but the difference is usually not more than 10 minutes. Both devices can display REM or rapid eye movement, awake time, breathing score, and several other data. One cool feature in Huawei is the ability to record if we talk or snore during sleep. I've tried it and it works well. Though it's the sound of my neighbor, not me talking in my sleep. This feature doesn't drain the phone's battery too much. This feature is available in the Huawei Health application, so even if you use Huawei Band 7, you can still use this feature. Huawei Band 8 has a quick reply feature, allowing you to send quick replies of up to 36 characters that can be edited. On the other hand, Mi Band 8 doesn't have this feature, at least for now. Hopefully, it will be available in the future, as Mi Band 7 had the quick reply feature before. For note, according to Huawei website, the quick reply feature is not available for iOS devices. Reading notifications is also more comfortable on the Huawei Band 8 due to its wider screen. And for the first time, the display message length is longer compared to the Mi Band series. Huawei Band 8 can display up to 480 characters including spaces, while Mi Band 8 can display up to 395 characters including spaces. Both bands support incoming WhatsApp call notifications. However, it's important to note that they only provide notification alerts and cannot be used to answer calls. An advantage of Huawei Band 8 is that it allows you to quickly reply with a predefined message after a missed WhatsApp call. Hopefully, Mi Band 8 will also have this feature in the future. Both devices have good connection stability, reaching up to 12 meters or half of tennis court before experiencing disconnection. Huawei Band 8 has a disconnection reminder feature that notifies you when the connection is lost. However, it's worth noting that the notification may be slightly delayed. Both devices have good reconnection speed and there are no issues in terms of reconnecting. The advantage of the Huawei Band 8 is that it includes moonset and moonrise features as well as moon phase, while Mi Band 8 only has sunrise and sunset information. In terms of features, the Mi Band 8 has the advantage of having several watch faces that can be used to play mini games. Currently, there are 4 games that can be played, and it's possible that more games or additional features will be added in the future. Mi Band 8 has a feature called Focus. This feature was previously known as Pomodoro Timer. You can Google for Pomodoro technique to learn more about it. One function that I like about Mi Band 8 is that when you activate the Do Not Disturb mode to silence notifications and phone calls, your phone also enters silent mode. However, this feature depends on whether your phone supports it or not. Mi Band 8 has a shutter or remote camera feature, and now it has a 3 and 5 second timer. Mi Band 8 has a world clock feature to view the time differences in a world. Huawei Band 8 doesn't have this feature, however it does have a watch face called Super Watch, which allow you to set and display different time zones, giving you dual time functionality, which I think is quite cool. By the way, some watch faces of Mi Band 8 and Huawei Band 8 are modular type, meaning that you can choose which data to display on the screen. Moving on to the sports feature, both devices do not have built-in GPS. However, Mi Band 8 has the advantage if we start workout from the band, it will automatically be connecting to the phone's GPS when it is connected to the phone. On Huawei Band 8, unless you are using a Huawei phone as well, you need to start the sports activity from the Huawei Health app and cannot initiate it directly from the smart band if you want to use phone's GPS. Of course, we can still use both bands for workout without bringing the phone, but then we cannot record the training route. Both bands are water resistant up to 5 atm, making them safe to use for swimming. The swimming data recorded by both bands is quite comprehensive as shown in the video. Huawei Band 8 still records heart rate data during swimming, although the presence of water can affect the accuracy of heart rate readings. On the other hand, Mi Band 8 doesn't record heart rate for swimming activities. Mi Band 8 has the auto pause feature. For example, during a workout, if you take a break for a moment, the band will automatically pause recording the workout data. It will resume when it detects movement again, such as walking. This ensures that the total workout time, cadence, and pace data remain accurate and unaffected by stopping. In Huawei Band 8, to pause workout, we need to do it manually, which sometimes I forget to do it. Another advantage of Mi Band 8 is the pebble mode, which allows you to place the Mi Band 8 on your shoe to analyze running movements more accurately. I plan to create a dedicated video for this feature. The Huawei Band 8 has the advantage of still displaying notifications during workouts, albeit briefly and only half of the screen. At least this allows you to see the sender of the message, while Mi Band 8 does not display notifications during workouts. Both can still control the music player on your phone while working out. However, since my Mi Band 8 is the Chinese version, it may not support certain characters such as Korean characters. It will show boxes. Both bands cannot store music directly on the band, so they can only control music or video player application on your phone. Both can count the number of jump rope repetitions, which is suitable for boxers. Both of them support auto workout detection, but I have never used it as it tends to consume more battery and may not be very accurate. We can view the workout history on the phone after synchronization, and we can also view some of it directly on the watch. The recorded workout data of both are similar. For example, when running, they provide information such as pace, stride, cadence, calories, and of course heart rate and time. Both provide over 100 sports modes that can be selected. However, besides common sports like walking, running, swimming, jump rope, cycling, and similar derivative sports, most of the remaining sports such as dancing, yoga, martial arts, esports, and others only track calories and heart rate. So many sports modes have different names but similar functionality. Mi Band 8 has a training assistant feature for interval running. There are several options available as seen on the screen. You will be provided with time intervals and notification on when to switch between running modes. While the Huawei Health app has a running training plan. Also, it might not be available in all countries, but we can participate in some events through the Huawei Health apps. It feels that Huawei pays attention to its consumers. We can sync workout records to Strava through Huawei Health app, but only if we start the workout through the Health app. If we start a workout directly from the band, the data will not be synchronized to Strava. While for Mi Band 8, we cannot sync workout data to Strava since we cannot connect it to Zepp app and must use Mi Fitness app. Unfortunately, Huawei Health app is currently not available on the Play Store and users need to download it by scanning the QR code provided on the box. If you encounter a message stating that the connection is not secure, you can try using your mobile data network instead of Wi-Fi to download the app. Meanwhile, for Mi Band 8, you need to use Mi Fitness app for pairing, and you may need to set the region to China to pair the band. This is because at the time this video created, Mi Band 8 had not been officially released in my country, Indonesia. However, even if you set the region to China, the features and functions of the band as well as the app should still work fine, no problem. The accuracy of the step sensor is generally good. However, it is too bad that we cannot see the step count during workout on Huawei Band 8. We must finish the workout first to see the step count. The heart rate sensors of both devices show similar readings as seen on the screen. Both devices have the blood oxygen or SpO2 feature. You can activate it throughout the day if needed. In this price range, we cannot get the blood pressure or BP feature. If you need the BP feature, you can consider purchasing the Huawei Watch D, which costs more than $300 US. Moving on to the design, I prefer the Mi Band 8 as it has a more premium look with its metal body, and it can be used as a fashion accessory with various strap and accessory options. Mi Band 8 also has a necklace mode, allowing you to wear it as a pendant. This is suitable for people who don't like wearing wristwatches but still need to check the time and track their steps. Mi Band 8 is longer but narrower and thicker compared to the Huawei Band 8. Here's how it looks when worn on my wrist. I am 170 cm tall, weight 67 kg, and have a wrist width of 5.2 cm. In terms of comfort with the standard strap, Huawei Band 8 is more comfortable because its strap is softer and more flexible. The strap design tapers inward, making it more breathable and less likely to cause marks on the skin compared to the Mi Band 8. Additionally, the spacing between the holes on the strap is closer, providing a greater chance of finding a comfortable fit. Furthermore, Huawei Band 8 has more strap holes, providing a wider range of wrist sizes that it can accommodate. Anyway, for the Sakura Pink variant of Huawei Band 8, the strap length is shorter compared to other color options. On every Mi Band series video, I always remind people about the con of using Mi Band snap-on strap as it can come off if it gets caught on something. On the other hand, the Mi Band series has always excelled in the availability of its accessories. And I like the Mi Band new strap locking design, which allows for a wider range of strap options without making the body wider like the previous models. I switched to a Velcro strap like this, and when I wear it, it feels comfortable. I can say as comfortable as the Huawei Band 8. Because the sensor on Mi Band 8 is not as thick as Mi Band 7. And remember, the Mi Band 8 is only 2 grams heavier than HB8. We cannot feel much difference for 2 grams. With a Velcro strap, the Mi Band 8 can be worn by people who have small wrists. We cannot do this with a standard strap. Another advantage of the glossy metal body of the Mi Band 8 is that it still looks good when paired with different colored straps. But in the end, when it comes to design, it's a matter of personal preference. In terms of the display, the Mi Band 8 now features a 60Hz screen which provides smoother motion and also includes the auto brightness feature. The screen brightness of the Mi Band 8 is rated at 600 nits, which is brighter than Huawei Band 8 and Mi Band 7. Hopefully you can still see the difference in the video. The Huawei Band 8 has a wider screen compared to the Mi Band 8, even though the Mi Band 8 is diagonally longer. In terms of pixel density, for screens of this size, the difference may not be noticeable. Both devices have vivid and smooth display. In terms of navigation, the Huawei Band 8 has an advantage with its physical button, which can be useful in various usage scenarios, such as when your hands are wet or when you need to quickly return to the home menu. The quick setting feature on the Huawei Band 8 is more complete and convenient compared to the Mi Band 8. However, we can add many more features when swiping right or left on MB8 through the Mi Fitness app. We can also do that on the Huawei Band 8 directly on the band, but the options are not that much. For battery life, according to the manufacturers, can be seen on the screen. After 7 days with the same usage and settings, my Huawei Band 8 has 11% battery remaining, while my Band 8 still has 37% battery left. The battery life, of course, depends on the usage. Huawei Band 8 can be fully charged in 45 minutes, and according to the advertisement, charging for just 5 minutes is enough to last for 2 days. I find this quite believable. Meanwhile, Mi Band 8 can be fully charged in 1 hour, which is 15 minutes longer than HB8. Lastly, Huawei Band 8 has undergone various tests, so it is expected to be durable. As for Mi Band 8, I don't know what kind of test it has undergone, as there is no information available. As for the other similar features, you can see them for yourself. In conclusion, if you already have the Huawei Band 7 and you don't need the new always on display feature, then in my opinion, there is no reason to upgrade to Huawei Band 8. If you have a different opinion, please provide reasons why one should upgrade to the Huawei Band 8. Let's not use comfort as a reason, since I personally find the Huawei Band 7 more comfortable and I also prefer its design. But of course, this is a matter of personal preference and depends on the size of one's wrist. So some people may prefer and find the Huawei Band 8 more comfortable to use. Now, is it better to buy Mi Band 8 or Huawei Band 8? Choose the Huawei Band 8 if you need the quick reply feature, want something more comfortable and secure to wear straight from the factory, slightly lower price, and also if you prefer a wider screen with a smartwatch-like appearance and need physical buttons, then Huawei Band 8 is the right choice for you. Choose the Mi Band 8 if you need features like auto brightness, a 60Hz display, the ability to be worn on your shoes or in pebble mode, can also be used as a necklace, has a metal body, offers a wider range of accessories, provides more features, and have mini games. In short, in terms of hardware, I think the Mi Band 8 is better, so it's reasonable that it's priced higher. Additionally, Mi Band series usually more open on its software, so we can expect to get new features in the future through community development. But I can say that Huawei Band 7, Huawei Band 8, Mi Band 8, and even if we add Mi Band 7, all of them are worth buying. It just depends on personal preference, needs, and budget. If last year I mostly used Mi Band 7 and rarely use Huawei Band 7 due to its always on display issue, for this year I might switch between using Huawei Band 8 and Mi Band 8. However, I will probably still use Mi Band 8 more often because I simply prefer its design. It's a matter of personal preference after all. Which one you will choose, Mi Band 8 or Huawei Band 8? If you already own one of them, give your opinion. It might be helpful for others. Because everyone's needs, preference, and what they consider important may vary and different from me. Thanks for visiting Gadagamix channel. I hope it was helpful for someone and see you in other videos.